going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. It is your boy Jordan. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, as you can see by the title, I am going to be talking about the potential Hazard Player of the Month card coming up this month, and also at the end I'll do a quick bit as usual on the marquee matchups for this week, or the potential marquee matchups I should say. Now, firstly, before the video starts, I should say Hazard is not guaranteed to win Player of the Month. With Son, who won it last month, for me that was a dead certainty. I'm pretty sure Hazard is going to win it, like most people. Obviously, Joe Allen has a very good chance, but no one wants a Player of the Month Allen card, and also Hazard's excellent form has continued into this month, which is when the voting occurs from the panel or ex-players, whoever votes on the Player of the Month, and I think that will have a big say in who they vote for. So, like I say, this video is all about Player of the Month Hazard, and I've basically thrown all my eggs into one basket. So let's get straight into it. I'll show you guys what I'm expecting and what I'm expecting to happen, but that I can't expect, if that makes any sense. Now, I guess, well, this is my current team. You're probably thinking, why am I listening to a bloke with 1,500 coins? Most people have sold all their players with the black market crash coming next Friday. I play FIFA a lot. I don't want to be playing with a 10k team just for the sake of saving probably 200,000 coins, which I know is a lot of coins, but I'd much rather just keep my good team and see how I get on with my weekend league rewards. I did get Elite 3 this week, so I should get a minimum of 150 to 200,000 coins to work with. Quickly, the only upgrades I'm looking to do this week is Inform Kante for Fernandinho, and obviously the Player of the Month Hazard for Hazard. I do really enjoy playing with this team. It is a very, very good team. Enough of this. I will show you what I'm expecting this week for the potential Hazard Player of the Month. Firstly, I think I'll do the Belgium team first, as I'm pretty certain, I'm 99% certain a Belgian team will be required, as obviously we've had English and South Korean for the previous two. So like I said, I'd be surprised if this isn't there. Now, obviously we don't know what's going to happen formation wise and rating. I think with the players I've got, I can get 81 rated. Obviously I wouldn't want to use Dembele, as he is too expensive to be putting into a squad builder, and I don't think too much needs to be said on the Belgian team. I'd be very surprised if it is more than 82 rated. Obviously, if it is 83, then I myself will have to invest a little bit more. Yeah, I'd definitely be looking at an extra 20k, I think, to put into this team. But besides that, I would aim to get a minimum of an 81 rated Belgium team for this week. With the national team, I'd be very surprised if special cards are a requirement. I'm 100% sure you will need some sort of special cards this week for the Player of the Month, whether that is Team of the Week or the Movember cards. Now, I'm really not certain what is going to happen with the Movember cards, whether they've got good SBCs further down the line for specifically for Movember cards. It will be interesting to see. Obviously, this isn't. I was going to say this is the November Player of the Month, but this is for October, so there's a good chance there won't be any Movember cards required. Like I say, this is all guesswork and just basically my predictions. You could need 5, Movember cards, which would be pretty interesting. But anyway, I'll get on to the second squad that may be required. Now, I know with Son you didn't need a full Tottenham team, but I think they made Son more affordable, because obviously Hazard should be a lot more expensive than Son. I don't think they should make Hazard available for less than 500k. I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that, but this is, if you don't know how the stats work for the player of the month, all it is basically the next in form. So this is a second in form Hazard. So for me, that would be a card that is worth over 1 million coins on the market. So if it's available for anything less than 500k, pretty much everyone is going to buy it, just because it's such good value for coins. Like I say, I think it'd be worth well over 1 million coins, this card. So if you had 500k to build this squad, you'd be pretty stupid not to do it, just because you're basically getting a card double what you're paying for. I know you can't sell it, and it is a pretty large investment, but for me, as you can see from my squad, I do use BPL, so this is really my ultimate card at the moment. So I will be going all in for this card. I assume most of you here will be. But anyway, back to the squad. As you can see, this is a pretty affordable team. Costa is pack pulled, and this is an 84 rated team. Now, all of these players are very cheap besides Costa, Fabregas and Matic, which I don't know what they go for on the current market, but I would just assume it's around 80,000 coins. And again, to get one, if depending on how many SBCs you have to do, the previous two have both required 3. I would not be surprised, because it is Hazard, if they switched up to 4 this week. Now, I don't know if... Firstly, I'd be very surprised if they were after an 85 rated team, and even putting Courtois in would not be good enough. I'm pretty certain putting Willian in would get it up to 85 rated. But obviously this makes this team, yeah, 85 rated team there. Now that would be a lot more expensive, but at the same time it would not surprise me, because that would put this team up to probably over 200,000 coins. And with me saying I think it should cost over 500k to get the Hazard, maybe it would not surprise me if you do need an 85 rated team. Yeah, I'm not sure what other high rated cards they have. I don't know if you could get away with possibly using David Luiz and Begovic, but even saying that, I'm not sure that would be a huge saving instead of Courtois and Cahill. No, it's not going to work, is it? So if it is 85 rated Chelsea, be prepared to shell some serious coins out for this player of the month, Hazard. I think that's going to do it for Chelsea. Like I say, there's not really too much to say with the Belgium and Chelsea squads, as they're pretty obvious, and it's just going to take a bit of shuffling based on the rating to get your cheapest available team. Anyway, I will get into the next possible squad that's going to be required. Now, you could be looking at, again, an 85 rated team. To get an 85 rated BPL team should obviously be easier than Chelsea, as you have the whole league to choose from, but again, that would be a pretty expensive team. Now, this is the squad building challenge that I believe the special cards will be required for. Now, if special cards or just solely a special card is required, obviously the team rating requirement is going to drop. Now, just from doing this, that gets me an 83 rated team plus a special card, which could potentially be exactly what they asked for this month. Again, I don't know if that'll bump me up. Oh, that bumps me up to 84, so that's not a ridiculously expensive team. 84 rated with a special card, or without Joe Allen, I'm pretty certain I can get this up to an 85 rated team. Possibly not. Maybe I would have to throw in Lloris. Wow. That's still not 85 rated. I don't know how much Cazorla goes for. I assume with his lack of pace, it's not going to be over 20,000 coins. So, again, this team is pretty affordable. I don't know. No one knows the amount of special cards that are going to be required. I just think it is best to invest in as many of these players as you can whilst they're going for so cheap. Because as soon as the Hazard Player of the Month card drops, you know all the high rated players are going to skyrocket. So if you have plenty of coins and you're not fussed about taking a 200-300 coin loss on each of these players, then just pick them up. Yeah. For me, it's worth the risk. The potential of the Hazard card is so good that for me, you just have to take a gamble. Now, that is 3 squads. The previous two Player of the Month squads have both required 3 SBCs. It would not surprise me if they tried squeezing as many coins out of everyone for this card as possible. For that reason alone, it wouldn't surprise me if Lille was a potential SBC. Now, I know it's a BPL Player of the Month, so this is obviously a long shot, but it's probably worth picking up these players. Now, at the same time, I know the Lacazette SBC has dropped, so these players aren't going to be cheap, but also my reasoning behind the potential Hazard Player of the Month card is the reason that they've done the Lacazette SBC is to try and get as many of these Lille players off the market. So this is not a cheap squad to build, because obviously everyone is going to want to get the Hazard card as quickly as possible. These players would be happy to pick up each of these for like 5 to 10k each. I mean, 70k towards Hazard is not a great deal of coins, so yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up, to be honest, guys. I'm sort of I don't have too much to say towards the Player of the Month. Just pick up as many players you think, or what I've suggested to pick up, because like I say, as soon as that Hazard card drops, if it does drop, the players needed are going to be ridiculously expensive. Now, just quickly, there could be a potential Movember card. I've seen some people suggest they're going to do a requirement of a team with 5 Movember cards, which, if they do a 95 chemistry, will be pretty hard to get. Now, I do have 4 Movember cards already. Obviously those 2 I'd be able to get chemistry with together. I would have to get hard link, maybe a Cabela with Gomez. Ledley I could do with Joe Allen if there's a super team required. It really is about trying to cover as many potential options as possible. Now, I know you're obviously here for suggestions, but I've tried covering as many as my coins allow me to. Now, if you are short on coins, maybe this SBC is just not going to be worthwhile. I mean, like I say, I'm expecting a minimum of 500,000 coins. So, and like I say, I don't want everyone to have this card. It should be difficult to get. So, like I say, hopefully we'll find out this Friday. Well, we will find out this Friday who we're going to get. And yeah, I think that's enough talking on the Player of the Month. Now, I will do a quick bit on the marquee matchups this weekend. There are a lot of big games. What am I doing? So, I know everyone was expecting England-Scotland last week. Didn't happen. I did have a pretty good week prediction-wise. I managed to get 3 out of 4. Was it the Serbia-Wales game that I didn't have? And I don't think many people would have. To be honest with you, maybe a few Welsh fans would have took a gamble, but besides that, not too many coins to be made last week, because they're all pretty obvious, like they are this week. Now, these are the 6 games I think EA will be picking the games from. Now, firstly, for me, obviously being English, the biggest game is Man U Arsenal. But throughout the world, I would say probably these 3 games are all bigger than Manchester United and Arsenal. And they've also, both teams have been used in marquee matchups, I'm pretty certain. Obviously Arsenal Spurs, and I think there was one for Man U Liverpool, so I'm going to get rid of that straight away. Now, obviously the one sticking out like a sore thumb is Newcastle Jets versus Central Coast Mariners. Now, why have I put this there? Now, I happen to know this is a derby. This time last year, I spent 3 months in Australia, and I don't know why I found this out, but I believe this was called the M3 Derby, which is a motorway. I assume that each team is based at the end of the M3. I could be talking absolute bollocks, and that may be absolute rubbish, but this is my long shot. I've not invested in this. I've basically picked up 5 or 6 players, I believe, from each team, just in case it is there. I would be pretty surprised if it's not the 4 other games. I will keep it there, just because I'll look like an absolute fucking geezer, won't I? If that is one of the matchups. Now, quickly, I want to point out this is marquee matchups. This is not derby matchups, so I don't know if that is a marquee matchup. Where are these teams in the league? 3rd from bottom, and yeah, that doesn't... So 2nd from bottom against 3rd from bottom after 6 games played. That doesn't exactly scream marquee matchups, in my opinion. So, like I say, this is a long shot, and it's hard to imagine any of these 4 games not being there. Now, I know the Greek derby wasn't there, but saying that, I believe the Turkish derby is a step up from the Greek one, so I'd be pretty surprised if that's not there. Obviously, this is probably the 2nd biggest game in Spain, and Spain is one of the major nations, especially in FIFA, so I don't know how close the El Clasico is, because obviously Real Madrid-Barcelona will be a marquee matchup whenever that game happens. But having said that, Real Madrid are probably the biggest team in the world, and if any team is going to be in the marquee matchups 3, 4, 5 times this season, it is going to be Real Madrid. So I'm not going to get rid of that game. AC Milan Inter, again, I don't know how well they're getting on in the league. Oh, AC Milan are 3rd. I thought they had a pretty bad team, to be honest. And I thought Inter had quite a good team, and they are down in 9th. So again, just because of the magnitude of the game, it is a huge derby, one of the biggest in the world, so that should be there. And finally, this should be 1st against 2nd. Wow. Jeez. But again, this is by far the biggest game in Germany, one of the major nations, so we all know about the Bayern Munich Dortmund rivalry. That is amazing. That have they hit bad form? I thought they started the season really 3 draws in a row. Yeah, that doesn't help. So they must have won. They won 4 of their first 5 games. So anyway, these are my predictions for this week. Pretty obvious standard suggestions besides the Australian one. Maybe if you are a trader and you have plenty of spare coins, this could be worth a gamble, the Australian League. But besides that, none of these teams really worth investing in, as they all have tons and tons of gold players. So it's just worth having a bunch of players in different positions from each team, so you can get the SPC marquee matchups done nice and quick as soon as they drop. Open your packs and cross your fingers for a decent pull. Besides that, that is going to wrap up today's video. I've probably been talking way too long as usual. I hope some of you guys did find this helpful, and obviously I'm hoping that some of these suggestions are pretty solid, as I've got a few coins invested, especially in the Hazard Player of the Month. I will quickly show you the Hazard card which I have made. Now if that doesn't scream 1 million coins at you, then I don't know what will, because that card looks ridiculous, especially with the 70 physical. Now I know 70 is not incredible, but to go along with these stats all over 85, much closer to 90 for all of them, that's just an insane card. So fingers crossed, Hazard this week. Like I say, thank you guys for watching. If you could leave a like, comment, subscribe, it really does help the channel grow. That is going to do it, guys. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.